Alright, so we're finally going to get into our last critique of the day. So this one's actually going to be a fairly short stream. And this one is going to be of Dr. Robotnik. So definitely, out of all the 3 duck hunts that we've had, or out of all the duck hunts that we've had, this one's definitely the most beginner level one out of all of them. So I'm going to be pointing out a lot of bad habits that are happening here. He actually wins all these games, but I need to point out why a lot of these things that are doing are just bad. They just happen to work out in these scenarios just cause. Definitely like a symptom of Elite Smash. Alright, catch you later, donuts. So let's talk about this. Yeah, he is. So real quick, as you guys should know, Donkey Kong is like one of the absolute worst matchups in the entire world. Like Donkey Kong Duck Hunt. It's bad for Donkey Kong. It's really good for Duck Hunt. Just because like Donkey Kong has no way to get in and he gets demolished by like Clay Pigeon and just everything coming in at him. Not to mention he's a fairly easy character to edgeguard too. So pretty much everything in the entire world works against Donkey Kong in this thing. But however, if you are very careless about the way that you set up and how you're like setting up all your projectiles, you are going to get like hands on your face so quick. And you'll kind of see that happen here. So let me show that off. So one thing that you're immediately noticing is that Robotnik's not even bothering setting up. He's just trying to hit Donkey Kong with Duck Hunt. That's a terrible decision. Because first of all, if you're trading, Donkey Kong's going to win every single trade. There's no getting around that. Second of all, without having your projectiles there, it's just kind of free for Donkey Kong to get in. And that's the one thing that Donkey Kong should not be doing. Because if he gets in, he can do damage. And that's the one thing you don't want. You don't want damage from Donkey Kong. And like that, see, like, it's literally that easy. As long as you could just tap him a little bit below and he loses his jump, he's dead. Really bad Clay Pigeon there. It's a very easy grab. Again, as you can see right here, he is not even bothering to set up a ledge trap there, so pretty easy for him to get back. Also, I believe, like, as usual, I think Donkey Kong's hitbox, I think his arms are intangible as well. So he's just kind of able to get around everything fairly easily. Yeah, he's got arm intangibility from, like, frame 6 to 9. So that's basically a trait of, like, all of his tilts. So his arms are basically swords. So that helps him get around a lot of things. See, like, now that we've got... Okay, for some odd reason, he decided to throw Can immediately out of the way where Donkey Kong was going to go to remove Can from play. That's something that you don't want to do. You want to make sure Can is there to actively interfere where Donkey Kong is going to be, so then that way he can't get in against you. Again, giving himself zero advantage here, but Donkey Kong's going to land on that F smash. Again, just running right into him when Donkey Kong actually had pretty easy ways to just go in there and get punishes on him. And then, like, he actually had clearance to just, like, air dodge there and, like, grab ledge, but he just decided to take the punch instead. So just, like, really bad game plan coming from Robotnik there. Again, the down smash just leaves you vulnerable. Like, literally, the one thing that you should just do in this matchup is just chuck projectiles and stay away, and you'll be okay. But... throwing down smash at like 20% is just going to do nothing against Donkey Kong 2. And the other thing too is like his Nair is pretty good against landing against Duck Hunt. And like, you know, just spamming down smash is not going to anti-air a Donkey Kong. Like it doesn't work. You got to at least like pretend to up air him or something like that. See, like that's a good maneuver right there. Because like, you know, you got around the laggy move and then Clay Pigeon is how you're going to get all your maximum punishes. Like, you could have done Clay Pigeon F smash there, but if you didn't know that was an option, then, you know, kind of blame you for that. And that's a free down air right there. So yeah, Not sure why he said that to me, but basically, if you approach Donkey Kong like that, he will kill you. If you don't approach Donkey Kong like that, he'll be okay. It's just like the main reason why like he was able to like do well is like Duck Hunt's punish game on Donkey Kong is actually really good, and yeah, that's kind of it. It's just like you're able to gimp him really easily. But if he wasn't doing all those sorts of things, then he would have been obliterated. As long as the Donkey Kong player was better, because he just left a lot of openings, and you can't be doing that in the heavy matchups. So, okay, we're going to get to the rest of them. He plays against different characters in every single one. So you're going to kind of get like a wide spectrum of matchups. First one's Pikachu. As I mentioned, a fairly even matchup against like good Pikachus and all that. If it's a bad Pikachu, you should kind of just beat them up. Because like Pikachu's just a hard character to play. So a couple things to note. He staled Thunder Jolt once. Once he stales it again, you can Clay Pigeon right through it. And the other thing too is like if Pikachus are going to be like, if they're going to be quick attacking to stage, pretty much you should be able to know that they're going to be like going into this area because all they can do, they have to do 2 different directions. So it might be like up and then down or like straight and then like diagonal, which if you understand the distances that those give, then it's very easy to predict where exactly he's going to land. And the way that you beat out Pikachu's quick attack is just throw out a lingering hitbox. So if you throw out Narrow's Duck Cut, you'll always just flat out win. And that's the other thing too. I don't think a lot of people realize this. Why like T-Jolt's a little bit overrated. Still a good move, but you can literally T-Jolt fair just goes right through. If you throw out an attack and Pikachu's approaching with T-Jolt, it'll just like swat not only the T-Jolt away, but it'll also swat Pikachu away. So it's something that legitimately every single character can do to just like stop Pikachu from approaching. Again, not a really good way to like get the... Not a good way to get the edge guard. You're just doing that for style points. Again, that's like... You're never going to like edge guard legitimately like that because you're just putting yourself at too much of a risk for like basically a dice roll on if you're going to hit him or not. And that was just like a gambling shot as well. So the reason why you don't really want to go for back air off of that one is just because if you do the back air, you can't get another follow-up off of that. Or if you go for fair, you can link that into another fair. And the other thing too is by going for back air, you're just staling your kill move, which you should never really be doing that. Like if you have to use back air on stage, you're only using it because that's the only move that's going to hit. And again, that kind of shows the issue with like holding forward. Drop down ledge, jump forward air, and as long as you just kind of hold your position at roll distance, you'll always be able to like throw out an attack and beat out that option. So it's a very easy thing to get around. So what actually happened right there is actually a little bit more interesting than it seems. It's not that he just got hit by a can. I'll show you. So he was... It's so hard without the frame by frame. Oh, actually... It looks like the can was actually able to slip right under him when he did it. I thought he clinked it out. I think this was happened. No. So bearing the can, as far as I know, does not stale it because like you're not hitting, you're hitting yourself, which doesn't count. That's what I understand at the very least. Bear can's not a bad thing to go for. And that's also the issue with going for the jump up air is if they're just charging an F smash, the duck's a hurt box, so that'll just get you obliterated. So you need to make sure that if you're using that up air option, you're using that specifically to catch your opponent off guard. That's it. Yeah, that Pikachu player's wild. No idea why they did that. I don't even think it would have killed. Yeah, clay pigeon is not a good thing to use. So the idea behind that setup actually wasn't bad because I'm pretty sure I know what he was going for. Was I think he wanted the Pikachu to Skull Bash the gunman and then F Smash, but this is the issue with Skull Bash. They'll bounce up and then they can quack attack. They can quick attack back, and I don't think F Smash can physically hit them. So I don't think like nice idea. I don't think it works. Yeah. So don't need to worry about that. So if you see this, let's go right here. If you see a Pikachu just like, especially if they burn their double jump, just like buffer up air out of shield and you'll beat out every option they have. Or if not, just roll. Also, he needs to stop doing that because he can just thunder and kill him. But, you know, obviously it's a low-level Pikachu. So this is something that I talk about a lot, but unfortunately I don't get the chance to talk about it a lot because I don't see people abuse this. This is an auto shield can with gunman. So I'll just call this gunman can. So as long as somebody has a hitbox, like I like to use this specifically against sword characters a lot, is by having can right next to gunman. So if I retreat and they want to fair, like let's say, hey, they're trying to hit can away because they're used to just like fairing, okay, yeah, you know, can goes away. Can's just going to blow up, and that's an automatic shield can punish, and it's a really, really good way to just, like, kind of throw things in your advantage. You can use this against Pikachu as well. Remember, it doesn't work against Pichu because Pichu has no hitbox on his up B. And unfortunate, he didn't ping the can to chase him and all that stuff. But he could have made it look cool. Again, that's what happens when you don't respect burst range. This is if you keep holding forward and you don't learn your lesson, they'll keep doing it. And this is just dumb. Like he's just like trying to taunt him. So, you know, he's not even playing seriously. Try to call out a roll there. Fortunately, it just didn't work out. Not sure what the clay pigeon was, but I'm pretty sure it's a misinput of some kind. But yeah, he's not playing it safe anymore, so he's just getting hit by all these things. That's the thing. It's like because he's not taking it seriously. He's just allowing the Pikachu to just get back for free. But, you know, Pikachu's light. He'll die. So we'll get to the next one. The next one's Incineroar. He plays this one super bad. Basically, barely camps. Doesn't really know how to punish Incineroar things. And a lot of issues come from that. Like, whenever you see that, you just grab. You don't even think twice about it. Just grab. And it's like, if you know your timings for how revenge works, then you can throw out your clay pigeons. But otherwise, if you don't, you just go for the grab. Also, that's That's like the one option you look out for. So it's just jump at that point because they're probably going to do the Darkest Lariat. Or the Alone Whip. That's what I meant to say. Also, his hitboxes are going to beat yours out, so you take the first 2 up airs and then you jump away. Which there, he at least thought about a Alone Whip. So when he hits the ledge there, he's going to have to do that little bounce, and he's always going to have to fall off, so you just need to be ready for that. And then, like, in a situation like that, you can do the drop down, jump down air, and then you'd be able to hit him. But one thing I've actually never looked at, I've never looked at the actual hitbox on the rise of that move. I don't even know what it's called. It's called the cross drop. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you could definitely down air through. Oh, wait. Maybe you can't. I feel like you should be able to down air through it, but like his arms are intangible. So maybe there's a chance you can't. So I'd be a little bit wary about that. So yeah, that's the thing. It's like that move has so much end lag to it that you could just smash attack it so easily. And that's the reason why you camp, because he's just going to grab you otherwise. Also, something to note is when he has Revenge, if he decides to hit a projectile with his own aerial, it gets rid of Revenge. So it's really hard for him to keep it. Yeah, he kind of threw out like Clay Pigeon a little bit too early there. And obviously, he's been really, really bad about like trying to air dodge when he's recovering. So he's kind of died a lot to that. But yeah, that's the thing about Clay Pigeon. It doesn't get you out of a Alone Whip, but it makes it really hard for the Incineroar player to time it. So it's still not a bad option to go with, even if you do get hit by it. And they were just spamming smash attacks. He wasn't ready for it. Again, this is terrible. No setup there. Now he does it. So he let Incineroar get back for free. And it's like, by all accounts, he should have been able to make that back, but Dr. Robotnik was just not placing the cannon areas to cover his recovery at all. And he was a little bit too scared to go off stage and just challenge him, but it's so easy to do. Because, like, let me check his Alone Whip hitbox again. Yeah, so if you look at this, something important to note. So there's one part, I think that's just a win box. Let me just double check. Yeah, it should be a win box, and then it turns into a grab. So win box at first, and then grab. And notice that like his arm is sticking out. And it even like goes above it. So as long as you place like a hitbox like kind of in his chest area, you should be able to hit him. That's all you really need to focus on. Okay. Yeah. And then if you're able to hit Incineroar with like down smash or like down tilt or down angled F tilt, it puts him at such a low angle that it makes it really hard for him to recover. So there he died because he air dodged, but you kind of got the idea. You just got really lucky with that. But yeah, overall, the thing is, it's like Incineroar is another one of those, like that's a 7-3 matchup, but you need to camp. If you don't camp, it's so much better for Incineroar. Because he could actually hit you. If you camp him, there's no way he can physically hit you. Gandorf, another one of those. You camp him, he can't hit you. And if you don't, yeah, he's going to win every single traded interaction you go for. So that used to just go right through Clay Pigeon and punish us, but now because Clay Pigeon has the particle hitboxes, he can no longer do that. It's really funny. Like, this matchup got so much worse for Ganondorf. Yeah, that was just a bad execution on there. Could have had something cool, but he also could have died there. So, something I want to talk about real quick is Ganondorf's Dark Dive. So, generally a pretty easy move to edge guard, but there is one little instance where it actually becomes a little bit hard. So, let's look at this. Here we go. Okay. So, when he first starts off, you know, little grab box there, and then this. So for the beginning of it, his head is there, so that's not too hard to down air. However, this. So there's a part where he like kind of puts his head down and it's completely disjointed. So a lot of moves will actually lose out to this because they're not disjointed enough to beat it. So if our down air comes out, it's disjointed enough that it'll beat it. But like, you know, this last four, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I would say for like 6 frames, there's like a good part where you can't really hit him, and then it goes into this giant hitbox right there. So whenever you're trying to edge guard this move, you want to focus on like first getting around and then hitting him from the side. That's the best way to do it. So can's the easy way to go. Can and drop down gunman. Those are the 2 best ways to deal with it. Not to mention, he gets obliterated by a clay pigeon when you get one on him. So there, he could have converted that into an F smash or a up smash. But he probably doesn't know his weak nair confirms. He's kind of lucky that Ganondorf was like a little bit too slow to get an option out. Because otherwise, like, he could have just gotten obliterated for going for that gunman. And he wasn't ready for that either. He could have killed him off of that. And then at this point, Ganondorf's dead. And I don't know why he decided to do that, but yeah, it was just dumb. Yeah, they just messed up his execution there, but had the right idea. And then he had really good timing on that. And that's like a free grab there. But that's the thing. Like when you grab somebody, go for the full combo. F throw, dash attack. And then that would lead into the can most likely. But he decided to just do like F throw. And then also that's not how you do that. That was the untrue version of that combo. Also, reminder for anybody that doesn't know, Wizard Kick has among the worst hitboxes ever known to man. This is it. So this is actually a pretty easy thing to beat out if you jump above it. Still very strong though, so try not to trade with it. Yeah, unfortunately just bad read there. Actually, let me check. I don't know if Ganondorf has a hitbox on that down throw. I think he does. Oh, wow, he doesn't. So, yeah, if he does down throw, yeah, it's basically going to lose to Clay Pigeon. But all the other ones do. Like, up there has a hitbox. Back there has a hitbox. Forward there has a hitbox. For some reason, not down throw, which that one looks, out of all of them, that one definitely looks like it should. And there we go. Easy enough. But yeah, no, it's just like the main reason why he's winning those is just like the punish game is just like so skewed in Duck Hunt's favor that it doesn't really have to worry too much. Now this matchup I've talked about a couple of times. Obviously, none of these players show it off that well. But the biggest thing is that Yoshi has nothing safe against Shield Can, so that's really hard for them to get around. So they just kind of have trouble getting around that. But they do have really good speed, really good hitboxes. So they can kind of maneuver their way around, but it's still kind of tricky for them. So you need to be ready for what they can maneuver around and what they can't. And as long as you know that, you'll give Yoshi just like absolute hell. But if you're not tight, Yoshi can get around and like do some pretty hard punishes on you. Also, egg pressure is very fake. Don't fall for it. Again, you don't want to be doing just like raw, like down airs like that against Yoshi just because he can armor through it and then automatically punish you. Yoshi's the OG parry character. And also, don't go for trades. Yoshi's always going to win those. Because Yoshi's very heavy. So we got like a pretty good edge guard set up there. And then that was able to take out the armor there. But unfortunately, he didn't kind of commit to the edge guard there. Like if he did down angled F tilt, he would have been dead. Or down, I would say down tilt. Down tilt probably would have been the safest thing to do there. Yeah, obviously a misinput right there. Misinput right there again. But he doesn't go for a can setup. Like after the gunman misses, he just decides to just go in, which that's a Yoshi's like biggest blessing. That's exactly what they want you to do. You can just like jump can so that way control air, gunman control ground, and he's in a good position. Messed up the execution there. Actually Yoshi could have just like done like forward air there and then just air dodge back to the stage. Could have gotten one more clay pigeon there, but not a bad option. So we're about to see a very cursed thing. Yoshi's dash turnaround animation, Z-axis is the clay pigeon, and he can just run right through it. So it's specifically during that turnaround. So if you want a better look at it, I'll show you. So let's go to pictures. Yeah, this is what it looks like from the side. Yoshi just completely Z-axis. I hate it. But that's something you gotta live with. Truth be told, that shouldn't come up too often in the matchup, but it's something to know. It can happen. Also, that wasn't a good can. Like, he basically didn't reposition himself in order to intercept Yoshi. He just kind of threw it out without really thinking about, like, oh, where's Yoshi? Where am I? How do I intercept? Because, like, he could have turned can around so that way Yoshi would have a harder time, like, coming back in. And not only would that would help him recover, too. And then he could have also just covered the rest of it with, like, with an aerial. That was a really good response. Like, I think, one thing I don't know is, I don't know if that was on shield. Let me see. Oh yeah, so it looks like you could actually just back air that out of shield. That's good to know. That was just a start hit though. That wasn't the actual like ground pound hit. So the shield advantage might be a little bit different between the two. Also, that jump back right there is what every Yoshi looks for to just fair you. So definitely don't do that against him. Yeah, it's like at the instances like that when you get the weak nair, you can just kind of look for the tech setups. And this Yoshi's not doing it proper. When you do down tilt, you run, and then you throw out a fair here to just like catch like any early recoveries. Again, don't throw them back to the can, just throw them off stage. Can's way too far away there. Also, not really thinking about what direction it is. You need to be facing backwards so can pings towards Yoshi. He just made can useless. But that actually takes out the double jump armor, and that's the reason why that was good. You got to remember, that's something you can actually do to Yoshi. So, Ruin the double jump, you're good. There's probably a compendium somewhere that tells you exactly like how early you can take it out. But from what I remember, Can is actually pretty good at taking it. So Yoshi has to like air dodge Can quite a bit. But yeah, no, overall, able to win, but these were really serious sets. So if you're going to send things in, I would say if you want to actually learn something from your sets, I would say those are the games that you should send in. Don't really send in as many, just like kind of just random things. But if you don't understand these matchups, that's perfectly fine. I got to at least talk about those to a degree, just because it doesn't really show off what makes these characters good, per se. Got to point out a lot of bad habits, reasons why like these beginner tactics work, but just know that in a more competitive setting where like the people you're fighting are a lot better, this stuff just does not work. Like it's way too committal. There's no sense of spacing there. There's no sense of like gaining advantage at all too. It's just like there's just so many different things lacking from this, but you kind of only will understand that with like more experience. So it's like, you need to focus more on going for your neutral setups. The one thing that makes Duck Hunt really, really good. Need to learn your confirms a little bit better. There's definitely a lot of technical issues. So whether it's Wi-Fi lag or just you're not up to snuff on your clay pigeon combos, just practice, practice, practice. It's really the only way you can get good at those. And then hopefully you have a good connection too. Then the other thing as well is use way less smash attacks. Like there's no reason to commit to all these things, especially if they're like at 20%. Against heavies, make sure you camp. Otherwise, heavies do not have a bad time against you. If you camp, it is the worst thing in the world. If you don't camp, they're just going to run all over you, just because that's what they do. Heavies don't lose if you approach them, but if you don't approach them, it's the worst matchup in the entire world for them, and it's the best matchup for you. So, always remember that. And I think that's kind of mostly it. Kind of standard basic stuff. Just like learn how to control your character better. Learn more what makes Duck Hunt, and from there, you'll improve. All right, and that'll be it for this.